You're listening to American Slacker Podcast with Matt Gertz and Jesse Landers.
So, we're starting off here with an update on the car break-ins that we discussed.
Breaking news.
Yeah, well, literally. Breaking back fucking windshields.
Insert a glass shattering sound right about here.
So, the story to update anyone who didn't hear it on one of our last episodes, I'm not sure which episode we talked about it on, but in the intro of one of them, I discussed how this Starbucks that I go to on my break is constantly having cars broken into of the people who are staying at the hotel that's in the same parking lot, and it's continued. I thought it was done.
No, not at all, man.
Not that I did anything to stop I'm just observing and like recording the details.
I believe we talked a whole lot of shit. Like we were gonna do some investigating, get all CSI
Batman
on it.
Shit. Well,
Yeah,
I took a
we did
picture
nothing.
today, which I sent to you.
You should send that to the police, but I'm sure the police have already been there and taken better photos of like the interior.
That's what I assume. And you know, I talked to some coworkers today, and I mentioned it to them, and they seem to be aware of it too. And one of them had mentioned that that's an area where homeless people traffic a lot of the times. Like they'll be
Don't blame it on the
past
homeless. I'm
There-
saying
well,
it's druggies.
Well, there's a lot of like homeless encampments, and there's a lot of them actually in that area.
Maybe you're right, because I
So-
mean, homelessness. I don't know if that's a word. People don't call me on that. People that are homeless,
Yeah,
I don't
you're
know.
good.
Maybe like it does attach to drug habits. Drug habits lead to bad decisions and crimes in general. Robberies.
Yeah, I mean, living on the streets like it's rough.
It's
so
a rough
I don't
life.
Blame,
Yeah.
I don't blame people for turning to drugs. It's kind of understandable. Not that it's the right choice, but in this case, it does seem like I don't know. It holds some water because from sitting there and like listening to podcasts on my break and like having my coffee and chilling out. I have seen people walking past with like shopping carts and stuff like that. It's very clear that they are homeless, and I do see them walking to like sort of under the highway, and I don't know, like that
Sad.
might be the cold. Because last time we ended up saying, oh, you know, it's probably people like it's an organized thing. They're like coming in and like breaking the windshield.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just people trying to use the resources around them, even though it's not like the best way of doing things.
One clue that sort of speaks to that theory is when I was sitting there, I was close enough. I was like 2 cars over from the one that had been broken into, and like it was unfortunate. I saw the people like clean the glass up and stuff, and I was like kind of looking, and I saw the guy pull like a big rock out of the back of the car.
I was going to say, there was a big rock on the ground in the photo that you had sent me, and I was like, that's pretty amateur.
Yep. So someone picked up... So it wasn't like we said, like with someone bringing like a crowbar or whatever and doing it silently. This was like pretty... This was pretty brazen, and it was like a large rock. And that's like... That speaks to say that, you know, they aren't carrying things around with them that...
No, primitive robbery.
To get in there. Yeah, very like crime of opportunity, sort of.
Yeah, they must browse the parking lot and find a car that looks like it has like a good amount of belongings in it. Maybe they're after just clothing, you know? They might be after simple things.
Who knows,
Taking
man.
a gamble.
It's unfortunate because, like I said in the last time we brought this up, you know, it's a hotel that's off the highway, so people coming through, they're gonna have a bad view of the town if this kind of stuff continues. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, this all gets worked out.
Yeah. I hope, I hate to say I want the culprit to get caught if it is somebody that just needs help. I hope they get caught and they're given the help they need, but I doubt that'll be the case. But I don't know. Let's be hopeful.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
The whole theme of our episode.
I'm kind of like siding with the people who got their car broken. I obviously most people would, but me personally, because I've had my back windshield broken for no reason at all for the most part.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous story in itself alone. Like, I've never, knock on wood, I swear to God, if it fucking happens, like, in the next week or month, like, I'll be fucking furious. But I've never been vandalized on my car, and, like, I've been the punk that has actually done vandalism to a car before, so, fuck. But I've done a lot of good, too, so hopefully the karma has equaled out by now. Like, I put a lot of positive out. Good. Yeah, that's, like, I try to put positive out, and hopefully we equaled it out there, because that brand new car, please no.
Yeah, in my case, it was like I was at a concert, and some drunk guy came up after a party that had been broken up, and he was breaking, like, storefront windows and, like, all kinds of other shit, lamp posts, and apparently back windshields of cars.
Oh.
He didn't take anything.
You know, and not for nothing, I've heard of that happening there before. Like, people getting out of control in that same area, whether it was leaving that concert or just, like, different things going on in that area.
Yeah, this was in Poughkeepsie at the Chance.
Small scene riots.
Gets wild in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah, gets a little cray-cray. Oh, I shouldn't say that word. That word is horrible. Never say that word.
Gotta leave that in last year.
Last year. That's so 2015.
Oh, man. So, but yeah, like Matt said, this is the first.
Well, now you're talking 2016, because now we're on 2017. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's going to take me half the year to adjust to that.
Right? It's very, very odd.
It is very odd.
Time keeps moving on. So does the podcast. We're here for you.
We're here to join you on this wild journey we're all stuck in.
We're hoping you stick with us through this year. We're going to have some plans in motion soon to possibly bring you new stuff. Yeah, expand.
We're just going to overall expand the podcast and bring you more content, better content. In general, just improve our quality and hopefully entertain you guys in a better aspect than we have before.
Absolutely. That's our mission with this, is to make sure that you guys are enjoying it.
I'd say that's our goddamn business statement right there.
Oh yeah, I'll stand behind that. I'll stand in front of I'll stand on top of it. I don't care.
Yeah. With it, on top of it, the side of it, if it's like a house type structure, whatever.
It's one of those weird phrases where it's like you can
maybe it's
you
an
can
Iron Man suit.
As long as you're standing near it.
It's like your word is your like your weapon.
Yeah, right? Well, that's when you stand behind it.
This year. This year's going to be fast, people. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be better than ever.
We're moving too fast. Have we done the introductions?
No, not at all. This is American Slacker Podcast. I'm Matthew.
I'm Jesse, and I'm excited.
I'm very excited as well.
Just in general.
Well, always in general. We're going to talk a little bit of last year on this episode. We're going to close it out. We didn't get a chance to close it out. Last episode, hopefully you guys checked it out, actually. We should just say, check out our last episode if you haven't. Anthony Serino was on it. He's a business owner and a future podcaster in his own.
It was great talking to him. I feel like I learned a lot from him. I didn't know much about laser tattoo removal or those laser facial things where they blast your face with a laser.
It's cool. It's wild. It's a wild process, and it just generally inspiring. Like, he's been all over. I mean, he's ran for politics, business owner, as you were saying. His mom's a state senator. It's cool.
Yeah, so give that episode a listen if you haven't checked it out. But on this episode, as Matt said, we are discussing last year's antics.
We're going to give you the recap we were talking about.
I think one of the biggest things that happened this year was the Rio Olympics.
Yes, without a doubt, man. It was a huge event. it was a big process to actually clean up Rio to bring in the Olympics because they were worried because Rio is one of the most dangerous places in the world. So they did put in effort. Man, it's beautiful, but it's a sad story as well. Like they're stuck. You know.
Well, I mean, like we were saying before, with homelessness, you know, and poverty, it sort of breeds crime to a certain extent.
Higher population as well.
When people get desperate.
No birth control. I mean, it's terrible.
And then they get Ryan Lochte thrown at him.
This clown.
this knockoff Bond villain.
So yeah, you've been more into the story. I've definitely heard about him on different podcasts, actually, especially. I don't follow the mainstream media a lot of the time. I know you're like involved in it a lot more than I am, so you get to see this shit.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. I was a little obsessed with this story earlier in the year. The Summer Olympics, as Matt said, took place in Rio. That's in Brazil. And we keep saying Rio de Janeiro. We keep abbreviating.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, well, yeah. I'm sure the people know. What other Rio is there?
That Disney
Rio
movie
Grande
with the parrot, where he's in Rio de Janeiro.
They
were doing the Olympics there in a Disney movie. In Rio.
Probably get sued for fucking saying Disney on this podcast.
Oh, fuck, we said it twice now, too.
Fuck. It's like twice the money.
Well,
Disney, third time's the charm. They won't sue us now.
Oh, okay. Do we kind of
crosses it out. We just got to make sure we never mention it again on this podcast.
It's like the genie rule. Like, you get 3, and that's it.
That's about it, yeah.
So Ryan Lochte gets thrown into the country of Brazil, and he's a young guy, you know. He's ready to party. I feel like a lot of Olympians are when they go to these like fantastical places, and especially the Summer Olympics.
He's a few years older than us, man, and he's like traveling the world as like a famous athlete. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's definitely
gets to tag along with Michael Phelps.
Yeah, he definitely gets to ride the wake of Michael Phelps.
Yep.
And goes to beautiful places like Rio de Janeiro and Brazil, and he kind of fucked it up for himself. He got plastered, and he said that he got robbed. That him and a couple of friends were like mugged and at gunpoint, and that their wallets were taken from them, and
which is believable because you're assuming they're flashy, you know, they're probably dressing well and you know spending money, you know, which is like what like somebody committing crime might look for, you know,
right? So it turns out like not too long after he says that the information comes out that there's a videotape from a gas station where this mugging took place, and it shows him going into the gas station. And I guess what happened inside of the gas station is he fucked up the bathroom. He just beat the shit out of like a towel.
Do we have a motive
or something? Drunkenness.
Man, drunk. Some people just go that route. Like, you get your mellow drunks that do nothing. You get your real happy drunks. You get your fucking aggressive drunks that just go haywire.
I remember one time in college, I saw a bunch of drunk kids beating up, like, you know, the big orange caution cones.
Oh yeah.
They were like, it looked like they were like initiating it into their gang.
Oh man, the other night I was dropping a girl off, and I saw 2 guys belligerently fist fighting in the road.
Oh man.
And I was like, man, some people
it's not the place to do it.
Shouldn't be drinking. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, definitely. So Ryan Lochte might want to take some of that advice because he didn't get away with the lie. He was called out on it by on NBC because he did an interview with NBC and like lied to them. There's a really funny clip out there of Al Roker kind of arguing back and forth with Billy Bush when he was on the Today Show. And,
yeah.
And he's like every time Al Roker gets really upset, he starts stirring his glass with, like, he has, like, a little drink in front of him, and he'll start, like, using a stirrer and, like, stirring it as, like, as Billy Bush is talking. And he's just like, it's like his glass of judgment. He's just like, no, he lied. He lied to us. He lied to the American people. And he lied to the Olympics. Like, he's getting all pissed off.
People get crazy about the Olympics. Like, it's royal to us. Like, it's American, like, as could be. Like, it's global. Like,
oh, we love to
fucking... Yeah, like, every country gets, like, crazy about the Olympics. Like, Russia's, like, fucking trying to find the next way to cheat with drugs. Like, Japan's, like, fucking starting their kids early, training them right away for Olympics. Like...
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those world events where a lot of people are watching, and he kind of fucked it up.
It's a grand stage.
He ended up sneaking out of the country and flying back to the U.S. before, like, they could do anything about it, really. And
after calling his mom.
Yeah, he called his mom, and
Mom,
it's just like...
I did it again.
It's kind of embarrassing on a national stage.
Is he like, he's American, right? He's naturally American?
Yep.
Where do we know where he's from? I feel like I can pull that up real quick. Rochester, New York. He's a New Yorker. What a fucking shame to us.
Oh, man.
Rochester.
That's rough.
Oh, you fuck.
So, I mean, I'm willing to give people a chance to reform themselves. He had a reality TV show for a while. He doesn't seem entirely bright. He should really stick to swimming.
And the internet's telling me he got suspended 10 months for this incident, so... Yeah. Apparently he's paying... I'm sure he has a fine as well, and maybe loss of sponsorship. Who knows?
He says that he also hopes to compete in Tokyo in 2020, so we will see.
Wishful thinking, you fuck.
3 years.
We'll see. I mean, you gotta hold up to be an Olympian.
He's one of a kind.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
As you said, he's a Bond villain looking motherfucker, man. Like, I like to say he's Jaws' little brother.
Right? And he's going to miss out on a lot of opportunities to, travel around, see different places, be in different locations if he gets suspended like this again.
I would, honestly, if I had that opportunity, like, if I had, devoted my life to being an Olympian, like, why take that risk?
Right. I mean, everyone's human. We all have our flaws, but I don't know. It's like there's a time to, like, kind of act accordingly. Yeah. Especially if you're representing people on, like, a national stage.
Yeah. He's representing us all, as, like, a lot of people would throw a fit and say.
Al Roker's glass of judgment is being stirred at you, Ryan Lochte.
Yeah. I feel like, a lot of Americans were probably backing that idea, which I get under a certain extent, but, I mean, we only live once. The guy's obviously enjoying it.
Right?
A little too much. Who knows?
Dye your hair back to a normal color.
Yeah. Well, you could find better vices in life. I mean, this year we were all induced to Pokemon Go madness. I know you experimented with it. I experimented with it a little bit, not much at all. Honestly, I gave up right away.
It was okay.
It was cool, but people got obsessed with it. It was taking over the nation by craze, at least here. I think we were more hyped for it before it came out, right?
My rating on it, I was really hyped, and I give it 2 thumbs. That's it. I'm just giving it 2 thumbs.
Out of, like, 5 thumbs or, like, 6 thumbs?
Just 2 thumbs, not pointed in any direction. Just
like 2 thumbs, just, like, hanging out.
They're there. They're not down. It's sort of like it's what I'd give an okay. It's like if you shrug your shoulders while holding your thumbs out, that's kind of what I got going on right now. That's what I'd give Pokemon Go.
Okay. Fair deal. It wasn't our cup of tea.
The data. The data. That it eats up data.
Yeah,
so
it
unless
does.
you have an unlimited data plan,
I do, and I didn't take advantage of it at all because it wasn't that entertaining. First off, you can't battle in it, so it's really about collecting the Pokemon, and there's a weird method like where you collect multiple ones to level, and this and that, and I don't know. I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. But either way, it's been a huge thing in the news, and there's been quite a few ridiculous news stories that have led from it. One of the first ones me and you were just talking about was like it led a kid to discover a dead body floating in a river.
Oh,
July
shit.
8th, this summer, when Pokemon Go craze really initiated, in a Wyoming area, in rural, like Wyoming, like middle of nowhere.
She Ghastly has appeared.
Alerted for a water Pokemon, and then boom, she found a floater.
That was definitely it was a glitch in the game because it was supposed to be a ghost Pokemon.
Yeah. Now the guy was believed to have committed suicide. No harm at play or anything like that. We got a jumper, people. Most likely.
That's not what you want to find when you're just trying to look for Pikachus.
Yeah. That's the last thing you want to find while playing a harmless little video game, right? Now, the next part of the news that was really interesting is armed robbers, some really good, some critical thinking criminals, you could call them, were using this app to lure players to secluded areas, and then they would rob them, take their phones, take their wallets, whatever they had on them. It was a group of 14s that ended up getting nabbed for this, and it was in Missouri. Wild little scheme using this popular little game that a lot of people were using.
Okay, so they'd like put out the little candies in the game to attract.
They believed that they were adding out a beacon to a Pokestop to lure more players, and they would locate people standing around in the middle of the parking lot, and they would just nab them up real quick, hold them up.
Damn, it's like a nerd trap.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. Nerd trap. That's a perfect label for it, actually. I'm surprised it wasn't more common. I feel like that's a perfect nerd trap.
Gotcha, nerds.
Nerds.
You gotta get a net gun.
Man, not everybody's appealed by this Pokemon. People are even more aggravated than we are. Apparently, the Pokemon are appearing at the Holocaust Museum and Auschwitz itself. Now,
that's unfortunate.
A lot of people think it is inappropriate that they should appear at the Holocaust Museum, where it's a place of mourning all the victims of Nazism. At least, that's what the communications director told the Washington Post in an article that we're reading right now.
I would say that's a fair thing to say.
Yeah. I think there's a time and place for games, and this is definitely not the place.
There's probably a lot of places where Pokemon are popping up where it's probably not like.
Oh, where it's not acceptable? Well, you could say a sex offender's residence is definitely not a place you want to put a popular game that's probably going to draw in a lot of younger kids. And in Phoenix, there was a beacon that popped up at a New Windsor hotel, which is turned into a halfway house for dozens of registered sex offenders.
Oh, that's some bad planning.
That's some very bad planning. Maybe they should have schemed the networking of because I know it was some kind of programming where it determined that old churches and old hotels and this and that are all the places where you can refill your Pokeballs or their gyms or whatever, how the game works. Well, in another case, it actually turned out that a man's house used to be a church, and now he had a gym pop up. Now, the man is also on Twitter. His first tweet was, "This should be fascinating." Later on to go, this story actually went a little bit more viral and it might have made major news, maybe just local news in the area of Massachusetts. But he was getting pissed and trying to get the app to remove his house from there and possibly sue them.
Oh, damn.
Yes. Yeah, which,
now
people were just running around his yard.
He's just getting his Pokeballs in a twist. He needs to, calm down.
I mean, it depends upon the volume. I mean, if you got dozens of people running around your yard and he's one of those guys that's all crazy about their lawn, I guess I can see it.
What you do is you put up a sign. See, I'm always the type of person. I've told you a story about how you can turn problems into profit before.
Of course.
I'm not going to tell it here. Maybe another time on the podcast. But he should put up a gate, put up a $5 entrance fee, and also put up a sign that says, "I caught a Charizard here." Turn a problem into a profit. Anytime
and then what you do is you sell things like apple cider. If it's cold out, you get the hot apple cider, maybe coffee, hot chocolate.
There you go. Now you're thinking.
You really capitalize on all the profit that you can pull from the scenario, and then you're really getting into it.
Make little Snorlax cookies.
Ooh, dude, Pokemon-themed edibles would be... Now, if you put them and make them real edibles, then you're really fucking talking. But then you could be on the legal threshold, so we won't go there.
No, just stick to the apple cider donuts.
Innocent sugar Pikachus and Charmanders and whatnot.
Hey, man, I'll eat those.
Now, Pokemon has even turned up in even the most hostile of environments. One of the craziest things I've seen is a U.S. soldier actually posted a screenshot of a Squirtle on the front line sitting on top of his machine gun while he was fighting ISIS.
Now, that's pretty... Like, I don't know if it's badass, courageous, like, a little
Lewis Park,
irresponsible.
U.S. Marine. Hey, I think he's fighting out there in one of those types of contractor scenarios. It says former U.S. Marine, so I'm assuming he's a contractor now, and he's just, like, continuing on the fight and helping out and getting paid to basically be at war. Hey, he likes to play video games. There's nothing wrong with that. He's a warrior, but he's got a kid at heart. I like that.
It's pretty awesome. I wonder if he was the first one to do that.
I support that. Sometimes, it seems like there's a time for it and there's a time that's not for it. That's acceptable. A time that's not acceptable...
I'm going to trust his judgment.
Yeah, I would trust his judgment. Now, one of the times that I think you would agree with me on that would not be acceptable to be trying to capture Pokemon would be if, per se, your wife was giving birth and you're in the emergency room at that moment.
Now, where was the Pokemon?
Now, this happened in Texas. Jonathan Theriot thought it was a good idea to attempt to capture a Pidgey. It's only a Pidgey, man. You apparently aren't even that big of a Poke nerd, Poke geek, whatever you want to call it. A Pidgey isn't that big of a deal. They're everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
If it was something more rare, then we'd be talking. If it was a Jigglypuff, maybe, I don't know. Like,
I'm thinking Chansey, because, like, wasn't it like a nurse, kind of? Like, I'm thinking, and they're in the hospital.
You're right. You're totally onto something there. You're onto something.
Then you could understand.
Yeah, then you could understand. Apparently, at first, she wasn't mad at all. She kind of laughed. But then she gave him a little eye roll after he was really getting into it and actually capturing it. She thought he was just making a funny moment, like breaking the edge, like she's in intense pain. Bearing your child, you fuck.
Show some damn respect.
Right? Like, come on.
Let the Pidgey go.
Let the Pidgey go. There'll be another. There's plenty of Pidgeys in that sea. Isn't that the same? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's it. Plenty of Pidgeys in the sea.
Yeah, plenty of them. One of the last stories I found very fascinating is we actually had a hate war going on. An anti-gay Baptist church is fighting LGBT users in the game. Now, this was in Kansas when a church realized that their church was a gym. Now they grouped together. I'm not sure who exactly thought it was a good idea, but they made an account under the church, and they attempted to take back their turf. Now, what they had found out was that there was a Clefairy, and his name was Love is Love, which they clearly knew was a statement of war. No fairies allowed on their turf.
Well, okay, I'll follow.
I'm just saying this is what they're after. It might not say that in the article that I'm using for reference, but I'm just saying this is what I'm thinking they are motivated by. This is their statements.
Fair enough.
Either way, very interesting. This happened over this Sunday, July 10th. This article was referenced. I can't find a reference for an update on it. I'm hoping that maybe we got some correctness to this. Maybe the LGBT users took together and actually took down this hate. We could only hope. Maybe outsiders stepped in, brought in the serious guns.
That'd be awesome if that's how people solve problems from now on. You have a
instead of violence, Pokemon battle
it out.
Yeah, man.
Claim a turf. Whoever gets it at the end of the day, that's it.
What if we design some kind of AI that's like Pokemon that we just battle each other? Like we're all walking around, we all have our Pokemon like type AI robot, and it's like you bump into each other and you're like, whoa, fuck you, man, fuck you. No, fuck you, dude. Oh, that's it. Sick his Charizard or whatever the fuck, like, and they just battle it out, and whoever loses is just like, oh man.
Now, are we going like Pokemon, or are we going like real animals? Like if you had an robotic animal that walked around,
that would be better. That would be even better, because then I would say, what would the limit be? Does it have to be alive right now? Because naturally, I want to say Velociraptor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I mean, we're talking robots that I would imagine fold up to a cube that you could put in your pocket. So anything, sky's the limit.
Yeah, if we're talking that advanced of a civilization, I'm saying probably a Velociraptor. Maybe a saber-toothed tiger if I decided to be a little freaky or froggy.
I would go with a exact replica of Harambe.
Oh, we all have had enough of Harambe.
Yeah, for the most part. I'm in that boat with you.
We're going to talk about him anyway.
One more time.
Come on, people. We're wiping in the new year. Hopefully Harambe syndrome's going to fade out. Yep, if not, whatever. We're in for a silver, that's our intent. Silver lining year. Silver backing year. Is that closer?
Our intent's to do a little bit of a autopsy on Harambe and like put this to rest.
Yeah. Well, he was a hell of a lower Westland gorilla, I believe.
Western lowland gorilla. You got that.
Yeah.
The
Harambe, man.
Harambe was living at the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden. On May 28th, a 3-year-old boy climbed into the gorilla enclosure, and Harambe was like dragging him around, and basically, it's not even the incident where the gorilla was shot, which like is what ended up happening to save the kid. It's all the internet shit afterward.
It was like people choosing sides. Like, was it right? Was it wrong? Whose fault was it? Like, it became such a fucking fiasco, honestly.
I would say it was that for maybe 3 days to a week, and then it was just memes.
Oh, well, yeah, you were talking on the capitalizing on the entertainment and profit from, like, Harambe t-shirts and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, that combined with just people wanting to, like, I feel like people
videos
were slightly apathetic this year to, like, things, and they just found it funny to, like, kind of latch onto something that, probably wasn't that big of a deal to them.
Wasn't the most serious thing in such a year of seriousness.
Yeah, absolutely. So they just latched onto it, and dicks out for Harambe. That was
it was funny for a few days, and then it was everywhere.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And it was just like all the people that were saying that you could like single out. You could use that as like a deterrent to be like, okay, that's a person I don't want in my life.
Well, I feel like those.
Am I generalizing? Maybe I'm generalizing.
I mean, you're free to feel however you'd like, and I'm probably just speaking in speculation, but I feel like a lot of the people that were dicks out for Harambe were more apathetic, as I was saying, to what was going on in terms of. I don't want to pay necessarily, like you said, pay attention to all the bad shit. But this is kind of funny, and if I keep posting this, it'll like make me laugh.
Yeah, avoiding it with humor.
I could be wrong. Some people might just like want to have their dick out for this gorilla.
Some people just think it's funny and are just hipsters, clinging to current culture. Like
careful now.
I'm just saying.
I like artisan things. I've grown. I had a mustache at one point.
Listen, hipster. I got a full-on beard, like a lumberjack fucking beard. I'm probably like labeled a hipster.
Well, you got it. It's cold.
It is cold. It's cold as fuck, man.
I don't blame you.
It's a built-in ski mask. Don't you fucking talk shit about me.
Hey, I'm behind the beard.
I'm not. I'm saying like anybody. Like that was like a statement like to the world. Like, how dare you? Are you looking at me because of this beard?
I'm on top of the beard. I'm beside it. I'm under it. I'm behind it.
All right, man. I like that. That's cool.
Do the beard. So yeah, Harambe is put to rest. We're done with Harambe. We're like no more. I'm optimistic to see what the next Harambe is.
Who knows, man? Honestly, we cling to these weird events, make them cultural icons at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was definitely an interesting thing, and you can't think I think 2016, one of the biggest pop culture things that's going to go down is this gorilla at the Cincinnati Zoo, and I believe there's a statue now.
I'm sure.
In memory of the gorilla. So,
yeah. All for Harambe.
Hurrah! I'm glad the damn kid survived.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's good that kid survived, man. Fucking. I guess they had to do what they had to do to preserve his life, you know?
Right?
I mean, it's weird how the debate goes. Animal experts were saying well, the gorilla wasn't going to hurt him at all. He was trying to protect him and stuff. It's I don't know. How do you know? You know, I mean,
I don't think it knows.
I don't know, man. We don't know. Yeah. We don't have enough knowledge either. Are we being ignorant by that because we've never spent time with gorillas or studied them in depth? Who knows? You know, it's the ratio of gorilla experts to natural citizens, civil, whatever we are, it's pretty slim.
Yeah, very true. A lot of people like to think that they know everything.
We supposedly come from them if you believe in evolution. I mean, how far off are they from emotion? I mean, apparently chimps are entering the Stone Age. I keep stating that fact because I find it fascinating.
Oh yeah, the whole debate definitely is. It's I'm just hoping, no more crazy shit this year.
No more crazy shit, please. That's why we're honestly, evidently avoiding any of the negative shit that has happened this year.
We're just trying to bring you some of the funny, interesting, odd stuff.
Yeah. Black Beatles in the city.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, man. Stand still like a mannequin. Do that mannequin challenge.
If you're in the car at a red light, freeze.
Don't just jam the brake on and cause a fucking pile up.
Yeah, only
87.
Only if you're stopped right now. Do
the freeway out there
freeze,
towards Jesse.
Do your own little mannequin challenge.
Yeah. Encourage your friends everybody and their fucking sister on the internet because there's a billion mannequin challenges.
Yeah,
I will say I love the song.
Ones.
I love Ray Scrimmer. I've loved them since they were little kids. I thought they were pretty good right away. I always seeing young artists popping up in the scene, and No Flex Zone. I was bumping that in my car for a long time. I'm not gonna lie. Lie. I rap a lot, and they got a really unique style, and they really keep continuing to put out these songs that are just catchy. And sure enough, it clinged to this culture where we made this challenge, and we were debating how this happened before, but I'm assuming the first person that put out a mannequin challenge used that song. And
yeah, how do these songs get decided in terms of mannequin challenge is going to be this song? What was it? Harlem Shake? I guess Harlem Shake makes sense.
Running Man,
because the Running Man
right?
one. That one makes less sense. The Harlem Shake, I guess, makes sense because it's called the Harlem Shake, and it's the drop in the song that kind of makes sense for the crazy video. But there's all these different challenges, and I feel they all kind of popped up this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, apparently, we can go back in history. The challenges go back, and me and you have experienced one challenge, and it's one of the first ones that are actually documented on YouTube or anything. Around 2001, really, the Cinnamon Challenge started popping it up.
Yep,
and
we've done that.
Yeah, we've both tried that. We try to take down the whole spoonful of cinnamon, and you really can't.
There's a trick to it.
You gotta let the saliva build up in your mouth, right?
Yeah, what you want to do is dump it right onto your tongue and press it against the roof of your mouth. And then you got to slowly melt it away. It's not going to be pleasant.
Yeah, I bet you. Does it hurt spicy food?
It's more
because I can't fucking remember. I just remember gagging up because I tried it the dipshit way where I tried to swallow it all the way.
Oh yeah, you can't because it coats your throat.
I was young. And foolish and
Eating cinnamon.
eating cinnamon by the spoonful. It tasted good. I mean, you dab your finger in it. It's like, ooh, that's nice. I could totally take down a whole spoon of that without an issue.
The unpleasant thing is like
I'm choking.
Yeah, when you're dying and you need to spit and you have no saliva and it's just coated.
Apparently,
don't do the cinnamon challenge.
Yeah, apparently there's an equivalent with the saltine cracker challenge, which I mean I have heard of in like different like media, you know, like movies and TV shows and whatnot. And apparently in '96 it was even big because Peyton Manning had practiced eating 6 saltines without anything to drink, which I guess is really hard. It sounds like easy. I've never done a saltine challenge, by the way.
I don't like crackers.
I love crackers. So I feel like I could fucking do this. I practiced taking down crackers. Fuck you, Peyton Manning. I challenge you. I'll take down 8.
I'm more of a soft pretzel guy.
Soft pretzels are dank too. Ooh, any type of pretzel.
I mean,
I love.
I don't
pretzels,
even know
man.
if is that the same category?
I don't think it's the same category. Saltines are dry as fuck. They're salty. They turn to powder in your mouth like the cinnamon, and they turn to a compound that if you eat 6 at one time and crunch them up in your mouth, you're gonna fucking choke on that, and you could potentially die. So don't do it alone. Same with the cinnamon.
Man. Well, I mean, I guess if you're filming yourself trying to do it alone, don't.
Think about it. It's like a clay-like material. Like,
yeah.
Compound
just
it.
I would say have water nearby is your best bet.
Yeah.
Still don't do it alone, though.
Yeah. Another one that popped up was the Sprite and banana challenge. Apparently, if you try to eat 2 bananas and drink a Sprite without really throwing up, apparently it's impossible. Apparently the reaction that you'll have between that citrus, like soda, and the 2 bananas, the foaming, it's just going to make you go fucking bananas.
Now, I saw a video a while ago. This was like probably... When was that one? Did they have a year for that?
All we have is like mid-2000s, like...
Okay.
Earlier. Between early 2000s and mid-2000s.
Okay, because, I remember seeing a video where they were doing that, but they were doing it on one of those scrambler rides where you, like, sit in one part and it, like, spins you while the ride spins.
Oh, fuck.
So they had to, like, hold on to the Sprite and the bananas and, like, peel the bananas while it was going and drink the 2 liter of Sprite, and they ended up just throwing up all over the place.
Oh, my God.
Like, spinning like into the puke and stuff. It was terrible.
Oh,
man.
I could only imagine. Oh, that sounds horrible, man.
It's like if the mixture wouldn't do it, then the motion definitely would.
Yeah. Fucking, man. There's a lot of weird ones. Like, there was the water condom challenge where you fill the condom with water and drop it on your head, and then, like, you sit there for a second, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't really into the whole thing, but I saw, like, videos were popping up all over.
Did you ever come across, like, a gallon of milk challenge? Because I know that's another,
Kobayashi, bitch. There's a video on the reference page that I'm looking at right now, actually. That's funny you should mention that. Completes the milk challenge with a gallon of milk. Yeah.
Now, did it say whole milk? Because that's very important.
Now.
You can do it with 2% from what I've understood.
I don't have reference of this. I'm pulling up the video. There's a video. It looks like whole milk. It's a red cap, and I mean red cap generally is whole milk.
I would have to agree. Red cap is generally whole milk, so I have to approve.
We're going to say
my sample
Kobayashi is the man. Kobayashi!
That's a lot of dairy.
Yeah. Another dipshit-ass challenge, though. The fire challenge. Me and you were talking about this. Whoever started this... I mean, I'm going to generalize. I'm not going to lie. It seems like it's a lot of southern mid-America people that might be considered redneck or backwoods hicks type deal. I may have not said that or may have, whatever. We'll discuss that later on. You put a lighter fluid on you and you light yourself on fire, and for as long as you cannot drop to the ground and roll yourselves out, you sit there and take it.
Well, there's a lot of them I saw where they do it in the shower as well.
Well, the ones that I'm seeing right now are people like outside. One's in the middle of the woods like an idiot. One's on pavement. Like, that's a good idea. You want to stop, drop, and roll while you're burning on fucking pavement and get fucking sandpapered on top of fucking burns.
That's just bad planning. If you're gonna light yourself on fire, you want to be by an immediate water source like a lake, a pool, a shower,
anything. Yeah, you're not thinking. And
also layers are your friend.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want to have things on that you can easily take off, especially.
You can learn this and much more at Jesse Landers Stunt School, only $50 per hour.
Maybe you want to do this one in the ice bucket challenge at the same time. You know, have your friends nail you at the same time, and then be like, "I nominate you, motherfucker." Huh?
I want to see someone do all these challenges at the same time.
All at the same time. Cinnamon, 2 bananas, Sprite, gallon of milk. I'm setting myself on fire. Ice bucket. I nominate you, Jim. You, Tim. You, Terry.
Oh, man.
Now I'm going to duct tape myself to the wall, and then I got to escape.
Oh,
and now that's a bad idea as a kid that learned in Oregon, because there was this major news story where this kid that got duct taped to the wall tried to free himself, fell, hit his head, had an aneurysm, and also at the same time cut his fucking eye out. He lost his eye.
See, that's terrible. That's like when the challenges go wrong.
Yeah. These challenges, like, my hope for the new year is, like, let's be creative. I think me and you are working on a kind of challenge we might have to air under the podcast. Who knows? It seems interesting.
I say we debut it.
I don't think it's launch it. You think it's ready for debuting? I don't want. Don't you dare debut it, because somebody will steal it and it'll be viral.
No. We want to see. We discussed it a little bit earlier, and we can always revise stuff.
It's not perfect either. I don't want to be judged. Don't you judge us, people? I'm just kidding. You can judge. It's a free world. If you want to talk shit, let us know. It will improve.
So the idea is for our challenge is when someone like a coworker or a stranger sneezes, or if you know they're gonna sneeze, you want to videotape
or cough, right?
Or cough, any sort of like bodily function.
Any function. Somebody like rips one, you're just like, what?
Yes, perfect.
All right.
Any bodily function that someone does, if they fart, burp,
crack their
sneeze,
neck,
cough,
crack their neck. I'm saying it. I'm saying crack your knuckles, crack your neck, any type of body movement.
Like we said, we were still kind of
stretching
playing around with the idea.
It could even work with stretching, I would say.
So what we want you to do is, this is going to be the what challenge. What you want to do is when people are doing these things, you want to turn around and address them by saying what, as if they had just said something to you. So if I were to cough, I'd be like, and Matt would. Oh no, I coughed. It's I didn't say anything.
You clearly said something.
No, I was just clearing my throat and I coughed. It's
It sounded like you said something, and it kind of sounded insulting.
So this is how we're trying to do this. Record.
Hold on. Let's play the other scenario, the sneeze.
Okay, the sneeze.
Whoa. What was that?
No, I'm sorry. I just sneezed.
I don't know what that was, but that's not okay. Have you been to have you had a checkup lately? I just hold off there. I'm gonna call 911. I think we got to bring you in. This isn't good.
So if you could,
that's a terrible exaggeration. We'll pull an actor in for something.
Yeah, take it whatever route you want to take it. But as someone coughs, sneezes, does anything like that, stretches, cracks their knuckles, just give them like a what?
Put them in a weird scenario,
or like a whoa. Yeah, just put it in a weird scenario.
Like
try
Jesse,
to get it on.
You were saying, pretend you've never heard somebody sneeze or do any of these actions before in your life, and like it's something alien,
completely foreign to you.
Yes.
So that's our web challenge. If you do that, if you put it on Instagram or you put it on Facebook or anything like that, hashtag what challenge?
ASP.
Yeah, and then also hashtag American Slacker Podcast or hashtag ASP, and get at us because it'd be funny. I don't know. We're still gonna mess around with more.
We might do it ourselves.
We might do a what? Huh?
What?
What? So
This man needs a doctor.
Yeah, actually, that would be a good one too. So, as we said this year, a lot of people did need a doctor, but didn't do shit for them because they passed away. This was a bad year for celebrity deaths.
It was a rough year. It was crazy. Weird fucking thing happened, man. In the last, when Alan Thicke died and everything, my sister had said, they die in threes, and I was like, oh, okay, that is a saying, I hear that a lot from people, and then sure enough, fucking a day later, Carrie Fisher dies.
I have heard that theory before, but it's very odd that it turns out that way.
Then Debbie Reynolds dies, and throws that off, so fuck that theory.
True. Well, there were a lot of people that passed away towards the end of this year.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize Debbie Reynolds is, Carrie Fisher's mom.
Yep.
So that's a crazy, weird connection.
Yeah, it's very odd. And we're trying to lighten it up. Trying to find a fun way to address all this.
Make fun of people's deaths? Wait, that doesn't sound right. That's not what we're doing.
No, we're
making light of the events.
I'm going to pitch this more like a knowledge-based game show. I'm your host, Jesse Landers, and today we have our contestant, Matthew Gertz.
What do I win if I win?
I don't know. A podcast. You get to host a podcast.
I don't care. I've been smoking. This is cool.
So I've prepared some questions. I've been excited for this. We got 3 questions.
I've avoided looking at a lot of the celebrity deaths that have occurred over the years to pre-warn people. I know the current ones, obviously. Who's not going to know Princess Leia died? Give me a fucking break. If you don't know that, you live under a rock.
Right, and I did give you some easy ones in terms of being able to eliminate stuff. Let's dive right in. For this first question, you're going to have one lifeline if you choose to use it. It's kill the dead or raise the living. You can use this on one of the people that I list off, and it will reveal whether or not they're dead or alive.
What? You got some crazy rules here.
It's a lifeline. Essentially, you can pick one of the people, and I'll reveal whether or not they're dead or alive.
Okay, and I have one of those the whole time.
That's just a lifeline for this first question. You're gonna have a lifeline for each of the questions.
Oh boy! All right.
So your first question is, which person did not die? All right. So the 5 people that I have listed are David Bowie, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Doris Roberts, Howard Langston, and Henry Heimlich.
Fuck.
Now you can talk this out. It's sort of like
Harry Heimlich.
Well, hold on. You do have a lifeline if you choose to use it. This is sort of a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire kind of.
Fuck
scenario.
the lifeline. I'm going for it.
Do you want to know any? You can. It's also you can know anything about the person. If that helps.
Who is this guy?
Henry Heimlich is the inventor of the Heimlich maneuver.
He's already dead. Go back. List me the characters again.
You have David Bowie, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Doris Roberts, Howard Langston, and Henry Heimlich. You've eliminated Henry Heimlich, and
so
you still have your
who
lifeline.
isn't dead?
You're picking which person did not die.
Man, I shouldn't have drank before this game show. That's a bad idea. My opinion right now, people. If you're gonna be on a game show, don't pre-game. It's a bad idea.
Well, it's always good to eliminate.
Zsa Zsa is my pick, and that's the final answer for this round.
You're saying Zsa Zsa Gabor did not die, and you do not want to use your lifeline.
I do not want to use the lifeline.
I'm sorry, Matt. You are wrong. Zsa Zsa Gabor, actually, her funeral just happened.
Really?
She did pass away in 2016.
Oh, my God. I'm terrible.
So Zsa Zsa Gabor had passed away. David Bowie also passed away. Doris Roberts played the mother, grandmother and grandma's boy.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
She also passed away. Henry Heimlich also passed away. The red herring there was Howard Langston. You want to know who Howard Langston is?
Who is he?
He's Arnold in Jingle All the Way.
What?
That's Arnold Schwarzenegger in Jingle All the Way. His character.
A fictional character. God damn.
I told you I was gonna switch it up on you.
All right.
First
question round of loss.
Question 2 is, which person did die? Now, you also have a lifeline. Your lifeline is called Fiction Becomes Reality. And this is where one of these characters will be revealed as to who they are and their background. You don't get backgrounds in this one.
Okay.
All right, so which person did die? We have Ellen Ripley, Gary Shandling, John Locke, Ron Burgundy, or Dexter Morgan.
Gary.
Gary Shandling is your answer?
Yeah.
This is true. Gary Shandling is right. So, Matt, you are correct on question 2.
Well, I found this question to be quite easy, seeing as
man.
every character was a fictional character.
All right, so Dexter Morgan, obviously from Dexter. Ron
Yeah.
Burgundy, also fictional
Will
from
Ferrell.
Anchorman. John Locke from Lost.
I don't know that guy's that name, but that was his one deal.
And Ellen Ripley from Alien.
Sigourney Weaver. Come on. She's
Yeah.
actually joining the Marvel Galaxy soon, from what I hear, which is going to be interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, fun little fact.
So, your third question here.
And wait, you mentioned somebody else. It was Michael C. Hall, Dexter, right?
Yep, he was Dexter Morgan.
Yep. Yeah.
Was the last one there. Now, so you got one right, one wrong. This is there you go. This is pretty suspenseful, actually. This is your tiebreaker.
All right. Lay it on me.
And this one's kind of up to me. It's not really a question. It's more of a situation. So this is fight, team, kill. Sort of like a fight, marry, kill, but with dead people.
Wait, like a fuck, marry, kill, or whatever
Or
it
yeah,
was?
fuck, marry, kill, but this is with dead people, so it's fight, team, kill. So your lifeline is your weapon selection. Before I tell you who's involved, you can select from...
You're going to give me 3 people, right?
Yes. Your weapon selection is a battle axe, a mace...
Wait, why do I need to know the battle selection? Wait, why?
This is important. You need to pick a weapon.
Oh,
you can have a broadsword, an axe, or a mace.
Broadsword, without a doubt.
Broadsword. All right. So now fight, team, kill. Out of these 3 people that passed away this year, you have to pick one person that you will fight with the broadsword, one person that you will team up with, and one person that you will kill that's come back as a zombie. Essentially, you're teaming up with one zombie to kill another stronger zombie.
Okay.
Together as a team. So your selection is David Bowie,
Okay.
Fidel Castro,
Yep.
and Alan Rickman.
Fuck.
So you have to fight one and then team up with one to kill the other.
I'm going to team up with Castro.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Rickman.
You could probably take him on your own with the broadsword.
I don't know. Maybe I want to kill him. Kill him again.
Kill him with Fidel.
I wasn't that big of a fan of the Harry Potters. It's out there. It's out there now.
He is
Sizzle.
in charge of potions, from what I remember.
I think I'm going to kill him.
So
Final
you and
answer.
Fidel Castro are going to team up to kill Alan Rickman. That means you're fighting David Bowie on your own.
And then I got to fight David Bowie because I feel like that would be a glamorous fight.
With the broadsword, that would be pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It would be a glamorous fight. Like, he would
Okay,
be no easy foe.
You know what? I'm gonna, as the judge of this, I am going to give you my analyzation.
All right.
I'm very surprised, and in the best way possible.
All right. Good.
'Cause
I aim to surprise.
I thought the obvious choice would have been to team up with David Bowie to kill Fidel Castro and then fight Alan Rickman by yourself.
Why?
But-
I mean, nobody else could kill Fidel. Like, why should I be the guy that's like, I'm gonna kill Fidel?
Well, because Fidel is the easy pick.
He's
for
the villain, right?
So, So
Yeah.
I like the anti-hero theme you got going there. I'm giving you the point and letting you win the round.
All right. That's it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
win.
We're going to add some
Name of the
fucking
game.
bells in
I
right
win.
here. It's going to be great. Oh, man. It's going to be so exciting.
Yep. Yep. Well, now I feel like we have to have a follow-up where I battle somebody else for the championship.
You should battle Ramsey Bolton.
No. Ramsay Bolton's an evil man. As we've learned, he has killed Jon Snow, but then Jon Snow gave... Wait a minute. We're going to talk about the biggest TV deaths of 2016.
Yep, we're into our next segment here, people. Moving on to media, entertainment, TV movies.
Yes. And as always, Game of Thrones was like a big event. We had quite a few deaths that actually occurred. As you were saying, Bolt Ramsey, I mean, he's dead now. Done.
Yep. That
Done.
was one of the Stark children.
Yes. Well, kind of yeah.
She sicked the dogs on him, I remember.
Yeah.
Sansa,
So, I mean,
that's who it is. It's Sansa Stark.
It was, her doing. But really, those dogs shredded him that he had been feeding people to, so it's only karma, bitch. But, so earlier on, he kills Jon Snow in battle, basically, with his horde of warriors, because they're outnumbered. And Jon Snow comes back, thanks to the Red Lady.
Magic.
And it's
Magic
a weird thing.
solves everything
Jon Snow
in
died,
Game of
but you know what?
Thrones.
He's back. Yeah, Game of Thrones likes to impress. Well, they scared us, and they impressed us. Brought him back.
And there was another sad death in Game of Thrones, Hodor.
Oh, man. And it was quite an interesting way that they spun that. How his name became the actual last moment of his life.
Right? And it had that weird connection between him as his younger son. By the way, people, spoilers. We're giving tons of spoilers away in this segment.
If it isn't evident.
If you haven't already watched stuff, hey, I'm even going to be liable to it. We're going to go over stuff I haven't even heard myself. So, don't be upset if you learn that Hodor dies in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Now we
exactly.
were pitching an idea earlier. Instead of having Hodor as a kid flashing back to that moment, it's like him as a kid flashing to him as a businessman, looking super slick. He's got his hair slicked back. He's wearing a business suit. He's in modern England, and he's holding the door on an elevator while having a seizure and flashing back to himself in Game of Thrones, and some ladies yelling, "Hold the door! Hold the door!"
Vietnam flashback style.
Oh man, see that would be a hell of a twist. That
just
didn't happen, but that's how it should have gone. Because then people would be like, What's going on in Game of Thrones? How is it linked to modern day England? I don't get it.
There's a connection. You missed it. You missed it. You gotta watch it again. Start over from the very first episode. Really analyze it. You'll find it.
It's in there. It has to do with the dragons.
Yeah. Watch the dragons real closely. Rewind the scenes. You'll see it.
Speaking of deaths that I haven't seen, as we mentioned before, Matt, The Walking Dead, care to spoil some shit?
Yeah, The Walking Dead has been going strong. They killed, I believe it was this season as well, they killed off Denise, which was a weird way they killed her off. It was actually the way that they intended to kill off Abraham in the comics. That's how he dies in the comics. So that was an odd one to see. She takes a crossbow bolt to the eye out of nowhere. So it's pretty brutal. Walking Dead delivering the scenes of gore that just captivate. And
delight.
Furthermore, they left us on a cliffhanger with the introduction of Jeffrey Dean Morgan and his character Negan. Now, we all knew somebody was going to die because of the way the cliffhanger ended.
Speaking of that character, that actor, though, he, the actual guy owns part owns a candy shop in Rhinebeck, New York, near our hometown.
With Paul Rudd.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Fascinating. Yeah, they apparently wanted to keep the candy shop from changing, so they both invested in it. they talk about it a lot, when they're doing their appearances on different TV shows and radio shows, and they make appearances there themselves with their kids. Apparently, their kids are big fans. They own a candy shop now, which who would have guessed?
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised
I guess
at all.
they were in the Halloween parade this past year.
Oh, really? Right in Rhinebeck?
Yeah, I had seen a clip where he had said that he was going back there to be in the Halloween parade.
Oh, that's
usually
awesome.
they'll have the business owners, be a part of it and all that.
Yeah. I really enjoy it when they get down with communities like that. Small towns. Rhinebeck's a little weird town. It's cool. It's got a city aspect to it, but it's like in the middle of nowhere at the same time.
It's where my girlfriend's from, kind of.
Kind of, like second from
second
right?
home.
Yeah, second home. But anyway, so Negan's character, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, is amazing. I will just say that he's one of my favorite emerging characters in TV today. Clearly, he's been around for a long, long time in different movies and television shows and whatnot. But I'm saying Negan, the character. To captivate you as such an evil, witty at the same time, and you hate him but you want to love him. Like it's a crazy scenario. Like he is so goddamn interesting that you can't help but just want to see what he's going to do next. But he is just a horrible person at the same time. The way he tortures people, this is the way you would think, like when war comes down to torture, it just gets to that really morbid, uncomfortable place, and that's where they bring it. And
that's brutal.
Sure enough, man, the season opened up this year with Glenn and Abraham being smoked by the bat, which probably I would say is the number one and two death of TV this year. And if you haven't seen that, you need to see it. I'm sorry I had to spoil it for you, but I mean, come on, it was a big deal.
Right?
Yeah.
I gotta catch up.
You do, man. It was wild. I don't want to spoil it too much, but it was just the way they did the whole scene was amazing. Glenn didn't have to die, but he died from a scenario involving Daryl that I found just terrible and amazing at the same time, and Daryl's gonna have to live with it, and it's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to catch up. Like I said, now I guess season 6 is on Netflix. So if you need to catch up, season 7 is the one that's currently on there in mid-season break.
Yeah.
We another one that's actually, speaking of Netflix, Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, which is a great show.
It's amazing. It's going into, I want to say it's 3rd season.
Nah, it's I think they're going on to like season 6 now, aren't they?
The
death you're talking about is an opener in season 5.
Yeah, I mean, I've whenever they put these seasons up on Netflix, I just kind of blow through.
I'm sorry. Now, no, I just referenced it, and the death that you're about to reference is season 4, episode 12, the actual end of the season. Okay.
So that's the end of season 4. So they're going into their 5th season, the next one that comes out.
Yes, the next one that comes out, this is going to go on for a while. If you haven't checked it out, this is such a captivating show with humor, drama, suspense. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's about a women's prison. It's based on, I believe, a book that was written by a woman who actually went to prison.
Yeah, her character is actually the main character.
Yep. Piper Chapman, the main character, and it's got the girl that played Donna from that 70s show, Laura Prepon, and it's got Laverne Cox, Ruby Rose is a recent addition. Uza
who doesn't
Aduba.
love Ruby Rose?
Uza Aduba, I believe, won an award for her performance in Orange is the New Black.
She's wild, yeah.
She's really good. Crazy Eyes.
I was going to say Crazy Eyes, yeah. It's just amazing character.
Now, there was a death of a main character, Pusey, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yep.
She was essentially killed during a riot by a guard who was he essentially laid on top of her and suffocated her with his body weight in trying to stop her from moving. And it was like a really big blow in like to all the characters on the show and in that prison, because she was like one of the characters that wasn't really like doing anything bad. She wasn't stepping outside of the lines to piss people off. Like
she was trying to improve, if anything.
Yeah, I would say so. She was
Yeah.
trying to improve and get out. And she was also one of my favorite characters. So it's kind of sad to see her go. I believe they're going to bring her in with flashbacks and stuff. It seems they do that with a lot of the characters that they kind of get rid of. They'll bring them back in once or twice for flashbacks.
Yeah.
Because they have to address the fact that that character's now gone. It's been a rough year for reality and for fiction.
I mean, Westworld, if you wanted to talk about that, I didn't see, but I know the spoiler that Anthony Hopkins' character dies.
It's a bloodbath at the end of the season.
From what I heard, it seems, and that show is just so amazing. I have like 3 or 4 episodes, I think 3, maybe 2, really to finish. So I'm assuming it comes out of nowhere, the fucking mayhem.
Sort of. I mean, it's definitely one of those shows where like there's so much going on that you like. I know for me, it was hard to keep track of what was going on in terms of plot lines that were being talked about.
Yeah.
But it does all kind of culminate in a big fight sort of at the end. We've ruined too many shows for people.
Yeah. Let's not be the podcast that ruins shows.
But like we said, we just. We were talking about before the podcast. We just saved you like a couple hours of binge watching.
Yeah, no, you don't even have to catch up. You can just let Netflix pass by. Netflix and chill. How about life?
Yeah, right.
That's our statement.
Life?
How about life?
Leo is embracing life. I'm sure. Finally, maybe if I were him, I would just stop acting now that I won an Oscar.
You know, and it's crazy to think. I mean, how many years that guy's been acting? He was a child actor, and now he finally just captured it.
I see. I'm looking at his info right here. It says 1994 Best Supporting Actor nominee, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Best Actor 2005 The Aviator, which you had mentioned before, nominee. Best Actor nominee 2007 Blood Diamond, awesome movie.
Great movies. All of these are great movies. What's Even Gilbert Grape still holds up. It's a crazy, weird movie.
Yeah, and even 2014 Best Actor and Best Picture nominees for Wolf of Wall Street.
Great fucking movie.
Finally in 2016,
out of all movies,
a beard and fights a bear. And gets an Oscar.
The Revenant pulls it in for him. Finally. 2015 movie pulls it in 2016.
Yeah. He just had to get mauled by a bear,
Yeah.
Or a guy
fight a bear, and that'll get you
CGI
an award
bear costume.
Yeah. I guess it was a guy that was wearing a bear head from videos that I saw. Whatever makes it work. But I mean...
Well, that makes him an even better actor, I guess. Because it's fairly
crazy
believable.
To think. The Beach Gangs in New York. There was that Romeo and Juliet. I mean, there's so many movies this guy was in that like
Catch Me If You
Big
Can.
names. J. Edgar, Man in the Iron Mask.
Oh yeah.
Fuck man. Yeah.
There's a lot. So we're happy. Tip of the hat to Leonardo DiCaprio. Not that he needs it from us, but
living like a fucking champion on his yacht with 20 supermodels. I like it.
I'm sure he's enjoying himself.
He's like a classy version of Dan Blitzerian.
Oh, man. That guy. So, we also wanted to throw out a couple of movies that kind of piqued our interest throughout the year. Deadpool
it was an
being
interesting
one of
year
them.
in cinema.
Deadpool was definitely one of them. It grossed more than any other X-Men movie.
Yeah,
cool.
I thought it was really good. It got treated well on the ratings as well. 8.1 on IMDb, 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. If you haven't seen this film, I think it's classic. Like, And like I was telling you, we're like stuck in this like repetitive syndrome of the superhero movie that's like the same as the one before. Whereas Deadpool is like a comedy that's just merged into a superhero world, and it's amazing. Ryan Reynolds' character just is entertaining to the very end. It's like I was telling you, like Step Brothers had this like vibe of just constant hitting you with jokes that kept you entertained, and I feel like Deadpool followed that. It had very few dead moments.
Yeah, it was definitely funny. I saw it in theaters. I really enjoyed it when I went and saw it. I like the little asides that he has when he talks to the camera, and
yeah, exactly. I always enjoy those kind of moments.
It's pretty fun. Pretty fun movie. Definitely give it a watch if you haven't yet. Yeah,
and I mean, among this year, the other ones that came out, Suicide Squad and the Batman vs Superman with Ben Affleck in it, as Batman. It was a big controversy. They were interesting movies. I like the Batman vs Superman in its own aspect. The Christian Bale series will always be my favorite, but it was like interesting to see a more violent Batman that used guns and killed. Suicide Squad, I was not happy about the Joker. I know you didn't see it, Jesse, but Jared Leto's Joker impression was a little too glamour for me. I thought Harley Quinn was hot, but yeah, the Jared Leto did not pull it off, in my opinion. I don't know, it was a little too much.
Yeah, I was a little excited to see it, and then I heard some of the reviews that kind of rolled in, and didn't really feel like giving it a chance.
I was surprised Will Smith accepted that role, to be honest.
He does a lot of acting. He'll take a lot of roles, it seems. He's very diverse.
Yeah. True. I heard a rumor that he was like only accepting like positive black male roles or whatever, but who knows?
Huh. Another one that was worth seeing was the Star Wars Force Awakens. I haven't seen the new one yet, which is Rogue One. It's on my list. But I watched The Force Awakens. That one was really good. I audibly gasped on the plane when I was watching it during one part. I'm going to try to not spoil it for you.
Yeah, it seemed like it held up, the whole series, which is a hard thing to do when you're talking about something that's a cult classic.
Right. Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I always went and saw those movies with my dad, and I enjoyed them as a kid. So it was nice to continue to watch them as they come out. It was a good one. I would definitely suggest checking it out.
Yeah, it definitely worth it. Another one I saw, Hell or High Water, I thought was a fascinating. It was just an interesting breakaway concept. Two brothers, they're robbing banks across middle America, and one of them's like kind of a short-tempered and like a loose trigger type, and the other one is really just trying to get the money to provide a future for his son, because the family is like in foreclosure of this ranch that they've had in their family for generations, so they want to figure out a way to actually pay off all the debt. It turns out to be a really cool story. Twists and turns.
Sounds
Jeff Bridges is in it. As we were talking before, Ben Foster, a guy that's been in a million different things.
Ben Foster's a really good actor.
Yeah. All the way back to Freaks and Geeks, he played Eli, the very odd kid. He was special. And then Chris Pine's in it as the other brother, who's the more sane and reserved type. But I found this movie to be a sleeper. Like, a lot of people don't even know about it.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it until you'd mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, I watched it in the last month, and I really thought it was a great watch. So, check it out if you got the moment for it.
There's a couple films for you to get into from last year if you didn't get a chance to indulge.
Yeah. And we avoided the ones we've previously talked about in different episodes, for the most part.
Yeah. Give you some new content to go check out.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just enough to keep you coming back for more.
Right.
And speaking of coming back, you're going to have to come back next week, because I think what Jesse's getting at is that's it.
Yep.
And
Yep,
we're at the end of the
we
show,
done.
aren't we?
We are done.
We at the end of it. And hey, people, thanks for tuning in. As always, we love your support. If you want to check us out, AmericanSlackerPodcast.wordpress.com. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, you can also get at us, American Slacker Podcast.
We are also on Reddit at AMERSLKR Podcast, and also on Twitter under the same AMERSLKR Podcast. Instagram, American Slacker Podcast. All that shit.
Well, Happy New Year, everybody. Hopefully you're coming into this year with a new light, so to say.
Hopefully you didn't do anything that'll start out your new year on a bad foot. No regrets that got a hold of your phone number on New Year's Eve.
Ooh, that's a touchy one. Don't do anything we wouldn't do, people.
That leaves them a lot of room.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's some wiggle there. Well, we can go on for days about that, but I'm going to say that's it.
And I'm going to say, there you go. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.